Ongoing dialogue between political parties and the President on formation of Election Commission continues. Leaders of Gano Forum and Bikolpodhara take part in the dialogue today. Bangladesh celebrates UN's final approval of LDC graduation. This recognition to make Bangladesh one step ahead to materialize Bangabandhu's dream of Sonar Bangla, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. No matter what obstacles come, Prime Minister expresses a determination to move forward to change the destiny of the people.
চলার পথ যত কণ্টকাকীর্ণ হোক, যত রক্তক্ষরণ হোক, সব পদদলিত করে বাংলাদেশের জনগণের ভাগ্য পরিবর্তনে এগিয়ে যাব, এটাই হচ্ছে আমার প্রতিজ্ঞা.
Mass media employees bill to be placed in the upcoming winter session of the Jatiya Samsad, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. Number of corona cases crosses 10 crore in Europe. More than 2,500 flights cancelled in a single day in US. Rising trend of corona infection continues in the country. 557 fresh cases identified in the last 24 hours. Infection rate rises to 2.91%. And Bangladesh scored 175 runs for 2 at the end of the second day of the first test against New Zealand. Assalamu alaikum. This is Shamim Khan, welcoming you all to News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center. Those were the headlines. We now move on to the news and details.
আমি বাঙালি, আমি মানুষ, আমি মুসলমান, একবার মরে দুইবার মরে না। আমার মৃত্যু আসে থাকে যদি আমি হাসতে হাসতে যাব, আমার বাঙালি জাতকে অপমান করে যাব না, তোমাদের কাছে ক্ষমা চাইব না। এবং যাবার সময় বলে যাব, জয় বাংলা, স্বাধীন বাংলা, বাঙালি আমার জাতি, বাংলা আমার ভাষা, বাংলার মাটি আমার স্থান।
President Mohammad Abdul Hamid today held talks with the Gano Forum and Bikolpodhara Bangladesh as part of the ongoing dialogue with political parties to form a neutral and acceptable election commission. An 8-member delegation of Gano Forum, led by its executive president Mokabbir Khan, attended the dialogue at Bangabhavan this afternoon. Welcoming the delegation, President Abdul Hamid said the aim of the dialogue is to collect suggestions and views of political parties on forming an acceptable election commission. The President said politicians need to do something exemplary from which the new generation can learn and build themselves. President's Press Secretary M. Janal Abidin briefed that during the discussion, delegation of Gano Forum proposed to formulate a law to form an election commission. They hoped that the dialogue with political parties would play a positive role in this regard. Secretaries to the President were present. Later, a 7-member delegation of Bikolpodhara Bangladesh, led by Secretary General Major Retired Abdul Mannan, attended the dialogue with the President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bangabhavan this afternoon. Welcoming the delegation, President Abdul Hamid sought all-out cooperation of political parties to form an acceptable election commission. During the discussion, the delegation of Bikolpodhara Bangladesh placed 3-point proposals, including formulating a permanent law for formation of an independent and impartial election commission. Secretaries to the President were present. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said her government is set to formulate a smooth transition strategy to continue the ongoing development spree for transforming Bangladesh into a developed and prosperous nation by 2041. The Prime Minister said this while addressing a function arranged to celebrate formal recognition of Bangladesh's graduation to a developing nation by the United Nations at Bangabandhu International Conference Center this morning. Joining virtually from Gano Bhavan, she also said the strategy would have effective guidelines to cash on the prospects and face the challenges which might arise in continuing the development journey of the nation. The Prime Minister called upon the authorities concerned to prepare an effective strategy based on research and data. She vowed to go ahead with the ideals of Bangabandhu to materialize his dream, no matter how dark the path would be.
উন্নয়নশীল দেশে উত্তরণকে টেকসই করতে আমরা একটি জাতীয় সরল উত্তরণ কৌশল প্রণয়নের কাজ হাতে নিয়েছি। এই জাতীয় দলিলে উত্তরণের সম্ভাবনাগুলোকে কাজে লাগানোর পাশাপাশি ভবিষ্যৎ চ্যালেঞ্জগুলি মোকাবেলায় সব ধরনের দিক নির্দেশনা সহ কার্যকর কৌশল থাকতে হবে। সম্যক গবেষণা ও সমীক্ষা থেকে প্রাপ্ত তথ্যপত্রের উপর ভিত্তি করে একটি প্রমাণ নির্ভর সম্ভাব্যোগ্য কার্যকর কৌশল প্রণয়নে সংশ্লিষ্টদের অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি। চলার পথ যত কণ্টকাকীর্ণ হোক, যত রক্তক্ষরণ হোক, সব পদদলিত করে বাংলাদেশের জনগণের ভাগ্য পরিবর্তনে এগিয়ে যাব, এটাই হচ্ছে আমার প্রতিজ্ঞা। যে কোনো সময় আমি জানি অনেক বুলেট, বোমা, গ্রেনেড আমার জন্য অপেক্ষা করে থাকে। আমি কখনো সেগুলি নিয়ে পরোয়া করি না। আমি জনগণের ভাগ্য পরিবর্তনের জন্য কাজ করি। যে আমার যে লক্ষ্য, জাতির পিতা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবের যে লক্ষ্য, সেই লক্ষ্যটা আমাদের অর্জন করতেই হবে। চলার গতি যেন অব্যাহত থাকে, বাংলাদেশ যেন এগিয়ে যায়, সেটাই আমরা চাই। আর নতুন প্রজন্মের কাছে এটাই আমাদের দাবি। অন্তত আমি তাদেরকে এইটুকু আহ্বান করব যে দেশকে ভালোবাসবে, মানুষকে ভালোবাসবে, দেশের মানুষের জন্য কাজ করবে। সেখানেই শান্তি, সেখানেই অগ্রগতি, সেখানেই উন্নতি, সেখানেই স্বস্তি। আর বাংলাদেশের এই চলা অব্যাহত থাক।
Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary, Finance Minister A.H.M. Mustafa Kamal, Education Minister Dr. Deepu Muni spoke on the occasion, while Secretary of Economic Relations Division Fatima Yasmin gave welcome address. Presidents of the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, JICA, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and Administrator of the USAID through video messages greeted Bangladesh for its graduation to a developing country. On behalf of the UN Secretary General, a video message was also screened at the ceremony. Meanwhile, at the program, as special guest, Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary said LDC graduation is a milestone of the development journey of Bangladesh. She said Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is the founder of this historic achievement in the Mujib year and golden jubilee of the country's independence.
বাংলাদেশের এই উত্তরণের ক্ষেত্রে অন্যতম সোপান হচ্ছে ডিজিটাল বাংলাদেশ। প্রযুক্তি ব্যবহারের মাধ্যমে সেবা আজ প্রত্যন্ত অঞ্চলে জনগণের দোরগোড়ায় পৌঁছে দেওয়া সম্ভব হয়েছে। বাংলাদেশের সফলতার মূলে রয়েছে সরকারের ধারাবাহিকতা, জনগণের আস্থা ও সমর্থন, রাজনৈতিক স্থিতিশীলতা, সংসদীয় গণতন্ত্র চর্চা।
The indomitable Bangladesh has stepped into another year along with successive achieved in 2021. Construction work of the long-cherished Podda Bridge has almost come to an end. Some other first-track projects like Metro Rail and Rupur Nuclear Power Plant are progressing speedily. Assuming power in 2009, Awami League government undertook a number of mega projects. Despite coronavirus pandemic, the government has come forward to take these prioritized projects ahead. The Podda Bridge multi-purpose project has drawn the government's top priority. The project marked 88.75% work progress till October 2021. The 6.15-kilometer double-decker bridge will cost 30,193 crore taka. Trains will run on the lower deck of the Podda Bridge and vehicles on the upper deck. The project has so far marked 46% work progress, while financial progress is 19,910 crore taka. The construction of 188 kilometers of rail tracks between Dohazari in Chattogram and Gumdum in Cox's Bazar is also progressing unhindered with 65% work progress so far. The project will cost 18,034 crore taka. The Rupur nuclear power project is going ahead smoothly. According to authorities, the first unit of power plant will go into operation in 2023, while the second unit in 2024. The project will cost 1,01,200 crore taka. The Paira Deep Sea Port is another prioritized project of the government with 83% work progress so far. The project will have the finishing touch in June 2024. Besides, some other big projects, including an LNG terminal in Moheshkhali, Paira Power Plant, and Shonadia Deep Seaport projects, are progressing smoothly. Awami League Joint General Secretary and Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood said, Mass Media Employees Bill will be placed in the coming winter session of the Jatiya সংসদ. He was speaking as chief guest at the biennial general meeting of Chattogram Division Journalist Forum at the National Press Club in Dhaka today. Welcoming constructive criticism of the government, Dr. Hassan Mahmood says criticism by the journalists should not go in favor of anti-state evil forces.
সরকারের সমালোচনা হবে, কোন জায়গায় দায়িত্বশীলরা যদি ভুল করে সেটিরও সমালোচনা হবে, কিন্তু সমালোচনাটা যেন এমন না হয় যে দুষ্কৃতিকারীদের হাতে দেশটা চলে যায় এবং সাম্প্রদায়িক অপশক্তির হাতে কিংবা সাম্প্রদায়িক অপশক্তিকে লালন পোষণ করে তাদেরকে কাজে লাগিয়ে যারা রাষ্ট্র ক্ষমতা দখল করতে চায় তাদের হাতে যেন ক্ষমতাটা চলে না যায়, সেজন্য আমাদের সবাইকে সতর্ক থাকতে হবে। গণমাধ্যম কর্মী আইনটা ইতিমধ্যে আইনমন্ত্রী সর্বশেষ সাইন করে দিয়েছে। আমরা আশা করছি যে আগামী শীতকালীন অধিবেশনে আমরা সেটি নিয়ে যেতে পারব এবং এটি পাশ হলে পরে, এটি আগে রূপান্তরিত হলে পরে, তাহলে সম্প্রচারের সাথে যারা সাংবাদিক যুক্ত আছেন এবং অনলাইনের সাথে যারা সাংবাদিক যুক্ত আছেন, ভালো অনলাইনের সাথে, রেডিওর সাথে যে সমস্ত সাংবাদিক যুক্ত আছেন তাদেরকে আইনি সুরক্ষা দেওয়া সম্ভবপর হবে।
Chattogram Division Journalist Forum's acting president Mustafa Kamal presided over the program. Prime Minister's former information advisor Iqbal Subhan Chaudhry, senior journalist Manzoor Ahsan Bulbul and Shahjahan Shardar, former president of National Press Club Saiful Alam and secretary general of the organization Shaheen Chaudhry also spoke. Online ticketing of Biman Bangladesh Airlines own online ticketing system will be introduced again in February next. State Minister for Civil Aviation and Tourism Mahmood Ali said this at an interview with BTV. Biman Bangladesh Airlines online ticket sale had been suspended on August 10 last year after its online sales partner Travel Shop suspended the service. It caused problems for Biman passengers during the ongoing COVID-19 situation. Later, Biman Bangladesh started selling tickets through third party. Bangladesh reported 1 COVID-19 death and 557 new infections today. Director General of Health Services DGHS in his routine daily statement today said the death toll has risen to 28,077 from coronavirus and the tally of infections has risen to 15,86,466. The recovery count rose to 15,49,557 after another 253 patients recovered. The statement said 2.91% of 19,130 samples tested positive. DGH's statistics showed of the people infected from the beginning, 97.67% recovered and 1.77% died. Now, international news. Europe has surpassed 100 million cases of coronavirus since the pandemic began nearly 2 years ago, according to data from the Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center. Worldwide, nearly 290 million cases have been recorded. Nearly 5 million of Europe's cases were reported in the last 7 days. With 17 of the 52 countries or territories that make up Europe setting single-day new case records thanks to the highly contagious Omicron variant, Agence France-Presse reported Saturday. More than 1 million of those cases were reported in France, which has joined the US, India, Brazil, Britain and Russia to become the sixth country to confirm more than 10 million cases since the pandemic began, Reuters reported. India's Health Ministry reported 22,775 new cases of coronavirus Saturday, saying the new cases bring the country's Omicron variant count to 1,431. Public health officials, however, have warned that the country's COVID-19 tallies are likely undercounted. Face masks are to be worn in secondary classrooms and England schools to reduce the spread of Omicron variant, the government has announced. The temporary reintroduction of face coverings aims to address concerns about schools remaining open for face-to-face learning this coming term. Flight cancellations in the US have hit a new peak in a Christmas season hit hard by the COVID pandemic and bad weather. Nearly 4,400 flights around the world were cancelled on Saturday, more than 2,500 of them in the US. Airlines have been struggling with staffing problems, with crew quarantining after contracting COVID. Adding to travelers' woes, heavy snow has hit the central US. New York State recorded more than 85,000 new coronavirus cases on the last day of 2021, the highest one-day total in the state since the pandemic began, officials announced Saturday. France has banned the use of plastics to package most fruit and vegetable products. The ban came into effect on Saturday under new regulations that French President Emmanuel Macron's government says are meant to phase out single-use plastics as pollution worsens globally. Under the new rules, leeks and carrots, tomatoes and potatoes, apples and pears, and about 30 other items can no longer be sold in plastic. Instead, they should be wrapped in recyclable materials. Plastic will still be allowed for more fragile fruits such as berries and peaches, but is to be gradually phased out in the coming years. Now, news on sports. Bangladesh scored 175 runs for 2 in reply to New Zealand's 328 runs at stumps of Day 2 in the first innings at Mount Maungaunui. Bangladesh had trailing by 153 runs in the first innings. At the end of the day, Mahmood Al-Hassan Joy and Momin Ul-Haq were on the crease with 70 and 8 runs respectively. Earlier, New Zealand started the second day's batting with overnight score of 258 runs for 5. The Kiwis lost rest of their 5 wickets, adding 70 runs with the total. Sharif al-Islam and Mehdi Hassan Miraj bagged 3 wickets each, while Momin Ul-Haq took 2 and Ibadat Hussain took 1 wicket for Bangladesh. And now, to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. Ongoing dialogue between political parties and the President on formation of Election Commission continues. Leaders of Gana Forum and Vikolpo Dhara take part in dialogue today. Bangladesh celebrates UN's final approval of LDC graduation. This recognition to make Bangladesh one step ahead to materialize Bangabandhu's dream of Sonar Bangla, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. No matter what obstacles come, Prime Minister expresses a determination to move forward to change the destiny of the people. Mass media employees bill to be placed in the upcoming winter session of the Jatiya সংসদ, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. Number of corona cases crosses 10 crore in Europe, more than 2,500 flights cancelled in a single day in US. Rising trend of corona infection continues in the country. 557 fresh cases identified in the last 24 hours. Infection rate rises to 2.91%. And Bangladesh scored 175 runs for 2 at the end of the second day of the first test against New Zealand. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you indeed for joining us, and we request you to follow health guidelines. Please wear a mask and stay safe from coronavirus. Khuda Hafiz.